All right, let's be honest. One of the reasons that we're here is because we want to learn about and support our metabolism so that it also supports our body composition goals. So let's learn a little bit more about what it is and what it isn't. First off, it is not something you can ruin forever. It's really simply how your body uses energy. It's how your body manages and uses energy to support our basic life functions, our movements, and adapt to our environment, our hormones, our age over time. So this includes chemical processes that allow you to stay alive, that allow you to move and repair tissue. And in practical terms, it's how your body burns energy at rest and how it uses energy from food and responds to our training and movement and recovery. It's not a fixed number. It's not something that breaks. It adapts based on our muscle mass, energy intake, and our long-term habits. So let's take a look at this at a high level. This is a picture that's also in your Momentum Playbook. At a high level, metabolism is measured by something called total daily energy expenditure, or essentially the amount of body or of energy your body uses in any given day. It's like the budget that your body spends across 24 hours. And some parts are automatic and some are influenced by your choices. So our basal metabolic rate, that is our resting energy expenditure. So it's the energy your body uses just to stay alive. That includes our breathing, our circulation, our organ function, our temperature regulation, just your brain function. And it's if you were laying in bed all day, it's the amount of energy that your body would use to keep you alive. Now, for most people, this is the largest portion of our total daily energy expenditure, about 60 to 70%. So you don't consciously control this from day to day, but what does influence it over time is our body size. So men versus women, our muscle mass, our age, our hormones, and especially long-term underfueling or muscle loss will drastically decrease this. And that is one of the big reasons why adequate strength training and adequate fueling matter. They support this base foundation instead of shrinking it. Now we're going to look at our non-resting energy expenditure. This is where our daily habits matter the most, and these are the calories you burn on top of your resting needs. So, NEAT. It's actually a really large portion for most of us, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically, exercise that happens in your day just because it's not planned. So that might be, walking to and from your car, standing around, chores, fidgeting, playing with the kids, moving around at work. And it can vary quite dramatically between people and even day to day. So it's one of the most flexible and impactful parts of our metabolism. Now, we're going to look at thermic effect of food. So basically, this is the energy used to digest and process our food. All food requires energy to digest, but protein has the highest thermic effect, and carbohydrates are moderate, while fat is the lowest. It's the easiest to process. And that's one reason why prioritizing protein and having it within your meals supports your metabolism and your satiety. Next, the smallest piece of the puzzle, believe it or not, unless you are some sort of pro athlete or, back when I was in college and running track, this actually would have been a much larger portion because I was spending 3 or 4 hours working out most days. But this is the exercise activity thermogenesis, the calories burned during intentional exercise. That might be strength training or cardio or sports. All of that is up here. Now, keep in mind, if we are consistently strength training, you can add muscle mass, which in the long run can affect your BMR. So that's one of the reasons we're prioritizing. So, like I said, especially as we are older and are busy with other things in our lives, work and kids and whatnot, this is usually a smaller slice than most people expect. But it really does have really outsized benefits. It preserves our muscle, it improves our metabolic health, it supports our body composition, and improves our insulin sensitivity. So let's take a look at what we can actually impact. So you can't really micromanage your metabolism, but you can support it. The biggest levers that you can control are your muscle mass via strength training, your daily movement, so that non-exercise activity, the protein intake, and your consistency. Intensity beats Consistency beats intensity every time. And avoiding chronic underfueling. That will drastically reduce your basal metabolic rate. So what doesn't help? Extreme restriction, trying to boost metabolism with gimmicks, like some raspberry tea. I feel like that was a few years ago. That is not going to be the thing. Or just punishing cardio. I'm not saying, running marathons is a bad thing, but just doing cardio just to burn calories is not helpful. Because our metabolism responds to our patterns, your job is not to force it. It's just to really support it with repeatable habits, and that's what we're doing in this program. Now, your muscle tissue, your movement play a major role in your metabolic health, which is why strength training is a foundation. Research consistently shows that slow and steady fat loss, paired with the adequate protein and paired with resistance training, helps preserve that lean mass and improves your long-term results. That's why we're not rushing this phase, because early progress is about building those behaviors that support metabolism and not forcing outcomes before your body is ready. Our goal is not to be as skinny as possible or constantly in a bulk phase. It's support long-term health and metabolism. This is also why we focus on behaviors before scale changes. The scale is an indicator, but the habits are what actually make the changes in the long term. So if you want, you can take a look at your Start Strong checklist. The blueprint there has some of those major key priorities that we focus on in order to make these changes in our body composition. And then also take a look at the strength training plans I have or something that you would like to. There's a lot available. And decide what you want that plan to be, and maybe even look into where you want to include that in your schedule beginning this week or next.